All right, Chloe, what are we cooking?
All right, so we're making mince. All right, all right, so I'm making mince. We've got 500 grams of mince, a celery stalk, 1 carrot, 1 zucchini, and then we'll just add salt, pepper, Worcestershire sauce, and bone broth. So I'm literally just cut it in half, and it'll be the same for all of them. Then I'm going to cut it into strips, so that you've just got like lots of little strips, and then that way you have just sort of like dice them really thin so that they'll just go into like little cubes. Fry those in the pan so that they're like sauteed, and then move them to the side and add the mince. Make sure the mince is straight on the pan, not on top of the vegetables, because you want the mince to crisp up, and that's what's going to add the flavour. So I've got the pan actually on like a high heat, and what you kind of do is you kind of get all those brown bits and it like caramelizes it. Cook that all up, and then you're just going to pour...
And the ghee, right? The ghee's the...
Oh, yeah. So what we use is ghee as our lubricant on our pans. So ghee is like so good, so sweet and like caramelizing. And then once you've browned that all up, then you're literally just going to put Worcestershire sauce on top. I literally just do a sprinkle and until it looks good. I don't know. I'd probably say maybe it's like 3 tablespoons. And then pour your bone broth on top, and then put it down to a low heat and let it simmer. And I just sprinkle a little bit of flour, so we use buckwheat flour, just like thicken it up into a sauce. And then it's like the most beautiful, it's like a country mince flavor. I don't know, it's so good.
Tastes delicious, that's all I know.
Yeah.
Right, this is why it's so easy. It's like, you just put this in here and then you can just walk away. It's got the ghee in there, it's steaming up, it'll start to caramelize, and then you'll put the mince in, and that will make it, like that will cook inside those juices, and those juices will make it super delicious. So breakfast, dinners, yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but it is so worth it. All right, look at that. That's looking good, starting to caramelize.
Woo-hoo.
Mince is about to go on.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we literally just move this all to the side, because that way you don't have to like empty it out, put the mince in, and swap them over. And then the mince is going to go straight on that pan, which means you're going to get that caramelized browning. Pop that on there, you're just going to chop it up and put it in like that. And then I'll literally just let that sit for like 5 minutes. Come back and do a bit more chopping, let it sit for another 5 minutes, stir it all together, pour the Worcestershire sauce on top, and then we do the bone broth and let it simmer.
How good. Great if you want to put on muscle, great if you want to lose fat, for sure, because if you want to put on muscle, all you need is put on a little bit of rice, and you put some rice with that, and you can have your breakfast. Like I would like that for breakfast, dinner, whatever.
Yeah.
We can just pack it away, put it in the freezer, put it in the fridge.
Yeah, and you can add different toppings to make it a different meal. Like chuck some yogurt on top, or you can chuck sour cream, or you can grate some parmesan on top, put some different herbs if you want to make it different. You, instead of only doing rice, you could do this with like some rice noodles, vermicelli noodles, and you'd be able to put it with that as an option.
Yeah, just get those extra carbs in.
Yeah. And you can also do this as a bulk, and it'll last 5 days in the fridge easy, and reheat so easy because there's so much flavour and juices in there. It's not going to dry out in the fridge. So you could probably do like 2 kilos of mince, obviously then add 4 carrots, 4 zucchinis, whatever, cook it all at once, chuck it in the fridge for 5 days and you're set. Breakfast, lunch, dinner's done.
Good. All right. It's got bone broth in it now. What else has it got?
So just get a heaped tablespoon of flour. Sprinkle it over the mince and the veggies when they're in the pan. Make sure you sprinkle it. Don't just dump it because it'll go all clumpy. Sprinkle the flour over the mince and the veggies. Stir it all around. So basically,
Buckwheat flour, right?
Buckwheat flour. Yeah, buckwheat flour is gluten free. It's actually not a wheat, it's a seed. So it's a better option than going wheat, because majority of people can't handle gluten at the moment. And if that's the case, you need to fix your stomach. But that's another story. Sprinkle the flour over, then just give it a stir so that it's all coated in the flour. And then you're going to pour the Worcestershire sauce over. So I'd say 3 tablespoons. I just sort of give a good coat in it. And then stir that in. And then just fill up. So you can see you fill up the bone broth just so it's like just covering it, basically. Like it doesn't matter how much exactly, like it's probably about 2 cups or something, but it's just so it's just covering it. And then now I've turned it down to the lowest heat, and that's just sitting simmering. So it only needs to simmer for like 5 minutes, and it'll just thicken that up. So that's why the flour goes in it, just thicken it up so it's actually sort of like a sauce. And add a bit of extra salt and pepper to taste, and
Good.
you're done.
Great. All right, so that's the kitchen, and I wanted to show you a bit about cooking because I eat very simply and I teach people to eat very simply, but you can do it with a lot of flavor, and how you cook makes all the difference. Okay, so yeah, a big part of cooking too, and what we've lost is actually using more nutrient dense foods. That's why I always recommend having your mince, having your steak for breakfast. You have these things because you're going to get the one for tyrosine, which is going to help you dopamine. You're going to get B vitamins, and you got to think all these things play a big role in your body. Okay, and you can't just go and hit your calories, right? We've got to look at the whole body as one big system that works together. And Chloe's just a really good little chef, isn't she's tiny over there.
And there's ways to simplify things too without it being overcomplicated. I think people get a bit overwhelmed, and all you need is to stick to a couple simple veggies. Like we pretty much just do the celery, carrot, zucchini, and cook it in different sauces or something.
Yep.
And just
keep it simple.
Keep it super simple so it's nutrient dense.
And ghee makes all of the difference. Cooking ghee makes life easy.
Yeah.
And healthy. So not exactly my normal breakfast, but you got goat's yogurt, or that's actually sheep yogurt, passion fruit, the mince there now. Usually I'd have an egg or 2 eggs with this, and my coffee. It just depends what I've got in the fridge from leftovers. So if I have rice from the last day, then I'll have rice with that. And I'll have more carbs if I'm going to be doing a bigger workout day. So if I'm doing my strength day, I'll have more carbs. And I'm quite lean. I wouldn't recommend the carbs if you're not lean. I'll have more carbs towards the afternoon. But if you are lean, then you're going to use those the glucose much better. And yeah, that's when I say, have your carbs in the morning if you're quite lean. This is actually delicious. Like, I've absolutely smashed this. How am I going to do this? All right, that's so good. That's so tasty, Chloe. Good job, wherever you are.